Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Toolbox Tuesday. I've got my friend, the eagle, in the background, so you're going to hear him throughout or maybe her, I'm not sure. Yeah. Have you ever realized that knowing something and living something are two completely different things? You know, I had a really beautiful conversation with a girlfriend this week, and it was a hard conversation, and it was a deep conversation. And she shared a word with me that I'd never heard before. And the word is gnosis, and it's spelled Gnosis. And it means a deep inner knowing through personal experience rather than intellectual learning. And when she mentioned this word to me, I immediately started thinking about some stories that I have in my head. You know, it's interesting to me that, you know, over the many years, what I know about myself is I'm not a textbook learner. I never have been. I'm not that person that likes to sit and read books and take in the information that way. And I've spent a lot of my life believing that I'm not smart because of that. And it was very interesting because this week my mom reached out to me, and my parents are cleaning out their home, and my mom found a document that is 47 years old. It was 10 pages long. It was hand typed, and it was from Children's Hospital. And it was about me when I was 6 years old, and speaking about how I really struggled to learn. I didn't like to sit still. I had a lot of trouble reading, and I wasn't that kid that was meant to sit in school and sit in a chair and learn. It just didn't work for me. And because that didn't work for me, there was a lot of people that told me that I wasn't smart, and including some family members. And, you know, I've never forgot that. It's never really left me. But when I heard this word gnosis, and I was like, this inner knowing, it changed things for me. I was like, you know, there's something to be said about lived experience. And, you know, we live in this world where we have information at the tip of, you know, our fingertips every day. We can watch podcasts, we can read books, we can take courses, we can learn all day long. But that kind of knowledge, it's powerful for sure. But there's something to say about lived experience. You know, I have two incredibly brilliant children, and my son often says to me, "Oh, Mom, I'm smarter than you." Yes, he is. He's seriously book smart. He absolutely is. He has the capacity to read a book, remember it, and recite it. He's just that kind of person. But there's a kind of wisdom that comes from living. You know, that kind of living that, you know, it's time, it's heartbreak, it's sitting in the hospital rooms, it's raising children, it's going through fear, it's the things that crack us wide open, and when we've been humbled again and again and again. You know, you can read about resilience, but living through something that brings you to your knees, that changes you. Yeah. And it softens you, and it slows you down. And when I think about this, it makes me think a little bit about COVID. You know, COVID wasn't easy for any of us, but, you know, it sure forced us to slow down. It sure forced us to think about what really matters and what was working and what isn't working. And, you know, it got me thinking about my Toolbox Tuesday and why I do Toolbox Tuesday. yeah, it's to share my knowing, but it isn't about all the things that I read necessarily. It's about my lived experience and, you know, sharing what's on my heart and sharing what I learned through my journey. And, you know, not because I've read a lot of books, and I have read a lot of books, like, in full transparency, I have. It just takes me a little longer than some people. But, you know, everything that we walk through in this life, you know, every season that we've had to experience, it shapes us. It cracks us open. It brings us to who we are. And it gave us something. Like, all these experiences that we've had in life, it gives us something. And it brings me back to that word, gnosis, inner knowing. And no one can take that from us. No one can take that inner knowing from us. So what if the hardest seasons in our life, you know, the things that form, those are the things that form who we are. And what if we already carry more knowing than we give ourselves credit for? Like, truly. And what if the things that slowed you down were actually the things that deepened you? And so, yeah, I'm left with this word, gnosis, this inner knowing. And it's not about reading every book and knowing all the things. It's about trusting our intuition and listening to our hearts and sharing the wisdom of this incredible life experience that we've each had the opportunity to move through. So, yeah, thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to share that with you. It's been really on my heart. Yeah, so I hope you all have a beautiful day. And if you want to learn more about connecting with me through my speaking or through my facilitating or coaching, you can reach out to me at shannondonohoe-simpson.com, or you could jump on my Joy series or my newsletter and stay connected that way as well. I'm sending you all so much love. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining me, Heather.